Tomorrow, I'm moving into your vacation house. I've already had the wallpaper replaced, so send me 3,000 pesos for the cost, okay? My sister Abigail's voice echoed through the speaker, light and casual, like she was suggesting lunch plans instead of announcing a home invasion. I froze mid-pour, coffee spilling over the edge of my mug in my California kitchen. What did you just say? I finally managed, my voice trembling. Abigail repeated herself, exaggerating each word as though she were talking to a child. I said, I'm moving into the Lake Arrowhead house tomorrow with Susan and the kids. The rent here is too high, and your place is just sitting there empty. It's perfect, right? Oh, and the wallpaper in the living room was a little outdated, so I added redone in my own style. It looks amazing now. I paid the contractor 3,000 pesos, so could you please transfer that to me? My mind went blank. My vacation house, the Lake Arrowhead cabin I bought after years of hard work, my sanctuary, was suddenly being claimed by my sister. She had moved in, redecorated, and now demanded I reimburse her for the cost. What, Abigail, what are you talking about? You're moving into my house? Who gave you permission to do that? And how did you even get inside to replace the wallpaper? Her tones shifted, a hint of irritation sleeping through. Oh, come on, you're always so ticked. I borrowed the spare key from Mom. We're a family. Do we really need to go through formalities? Dad and Mom said it was a great idea. Families help each other when they're in need, right? It felt like someone had struck me with a blunt object. My parents knew, and approved. With shaking hands, I put Abigail on hold and I yelled my mother. After several rings, her calm voice answered. Hello, Sophie. What's the matter, calling at this hour? Mom, I just got a call from Abigail. She said she's moving into my Lake Arrowhead house tomorrow. Is that true? Did you know about this? Oh, so she told you, my mother replied smoothly. Yes, that's right. Things have been tough for them financially. And since you hardly use that house, it worked out perfectly. You're a family, dear. It's only natural. Natural. The word echoed inside my head. My property. My privacy. My boundaries. All dismissed with that single word. It wasn't the first time. Abigail had taken my things before, designer bags, my car, my patience, and each time, my parents had said, she didn't me any harm. Forgive her. But this was different. This was trespass. This was vandalism. I unmuted Abigail. Listen carefully. I don't care what you, Mom, or that thing. I will not allow you to move into my house. Do not enter that property again. She laughed. Here comes Sophie's hysterics again. It's too late. We've already packed. And the wallpaper's done. I don't need your approval, just transfer the money, okay? Then she up. I stood there, phone in hand, paralyzed by a storm of anger, disbelief, and exhaustion. But beneath all that emotion, something cold and steady began to rise, resolve. Enog. I grabbed a bag, my wallet, and my car keys. There was only one place to go, Lake Arrowhead. Even by highway, it took over 2 hours to reach the cabin. Dusk had already settled when I turned onto the familiar road and saw my porch light glowing through the trees. My stomach dropped. The windows had new checkered curtains. Inside, my once serene living room was plastered with gaudy gold damask wallpaper. The kitchen walls were drilled full of holes for a mismatched spice rack. My sanctuary felt like a stranger's home. Dread clawed at my chest as I climbed the stairs to my study, my most personal space. I opened the door and froze. The walls were painted neon pink. I could barely stand. My hand brushed the wall to steady myself, and that's when I noticed it. A small, white dome in the corner. A security camera. 3 months ago, I had installed 4 cameras inside the house, their footage automatically uploaded to the cloud. A surge of clarity hit me. Evidence. I opened the security app on my phone and scrolled to the footage from a week earlier. My heart pounded as I watched Abigail walk in with the spare key, then let in a team of contractors. Change the wallpaper here. Take that shelf down. We don't need it, she instructed. Her laughter echoed through the audio feed. Sophia will be so shocked, right? But once we move in, it'll be ours. Surprise. A tense nervous voice followed. Are you sure this is okay? Abigail scoffed. Mom and Dad are on our side. There is nothing to worry about. Everything was there. The trespass, the deceit, the mockery. This wasn't a used family drama. It was a crime. I took photos of every altered room, backed up the video to multiple drives, and saved the recorded call where Abigail demanded 3,000 pesos. Then I locked the door and drove back to Los Angeles in silence. The next morning, I sat across from Mr. Walker, my lawyer, in his downtown office. Thank you for seeing me on short notice, he said, opening my laptop. Please look at this first. I showed him the photos, the pink study, the damaged kitchen, the garage wallpaper. Then, the security footage. Abigail's voice filled the room. Paint all the walls pink, please. My daughter loves this color. Oh, unveil everything in my sister's name. Finally, I played the phone recording. Pay me 3,000 pesos for the wallpaper, she demanded. Mr. Walker leaned back, fingers stapled, eyes steady. When the last clip ended, he exhaled slowly and said, Ms. Powell, this isn't just a family dispute. This is clear, documented trespass, property damage, and fraud. Let's make sure your sister, and your parents, understand exactly what that means. Miss Carter, this is by no means a mere family dispute, Mr. Walker said firmly. From a legal standpoint, your sister's actions, and those of your parents, who aided her, constitute several serious crimes. He picked up a pen, jotting notes on his legal pad as he explained the each point carefully. First, unlawful entry, using asperity to enter your private property without permission. Second, vandalism, willfully damaging and altering your home's interior and furnishings. And third, attempted extortion, demanding payment for unauthorized renovations. That's an attempt to obtain money through coercion, which is a grave offense. The word crime resonated like a gavel strike. Mr. Walker then presented me with two options. You can file a civil suit, seeking restoration of the house and compensation for emotional distress. Or, he continued, you can pursue both civil and criminal action. If you choose the latter, the police will investigate, and the prosecutor may indict. If convicted, your sister will have a criminal record. It won't be quiet, but it will be used. He didn't hesitate. I want both, he said. Civil and criminal. I want them to face every consequence and repay every dollar. I'm gonna be their victim. Mr. Walker nodded solemnly. I respect your decision. I prepare a formal demand letter for your sister and begin the criminal complaint immediately. For the first time in years, the path ahead felt clear. The lab was no longer my enemy, it was my armor. Miss Carter, he added, leaning forward, the road ahead will be painful. Your family will guilt you, manipulate you, beg you to drop this. But remember, you've done nothing wrong. You're exercising your legal right to protect your property and your dignity. We support you every step of the way. His words lifted the dark fog that had clouded my heart. 3 days later, the storm arrived. My phone rang in the afternoon. The cahier de read, Mom. I took a deep breath and answered. Sophie, what on earth do you think you're doing? Her voice trembled without try. What do you mean, Mom? I asked evenly. A letter came from your lawyer. Unlawful entry? Vandalism? Are you trying to make your sister a criminal? She shouted. Mom, Abigail entered my house without permission and destroyed my property. Those are the facts. Don't give me excuses, she snapped. Helping your sister when she's struggling is only natural. Anyway, we're all going to Lake Arrowhead tomorrow. You should come too. If the family talks it out. There is no room for discussion, he interrupted coldly. But I'll be there tomorrow, to give Abigail her final notice. What did you just say? I said this is her last chance. If she's gone by the time I arrive, I might reconsider pressing criminal charges. But if she's still there, she'll face the consequences. Una before she could reply. The next morning, I drove to Lake Arrowhead. The lake was calm, glistening in the morning sun. In front of my cabin sat a minivan I didn't recognize. They had ignored my warning. Instead, I found my parents, Abigail, and Isen sitting on the sofa as if they owned the place. 4 sets of accusing eyes turned toward me. Sophie, you're finally here, my father said sternly. Withdraw that ridiculous lawsuit. That's right, Abigail added with a smirk. You began to offer. We've already moved our things in. In the corner, several cardboard boxes confirmed her words. I'm not withdrawing anything, he said calmly. If you don't leave now, I won't hesitate. My mother stood up, furious. Enog. Yes, you bought this house, but we're a family. That makes it ours. No, mother, he said, sliding a document from my briefcase and laying it on the coffee table. It's mine. The deed gleamed under the light. This property is legally registered as 100% my personal asset. You have no claim, not even an inch. Abigail scoffed. So what? What does a piece of paper mean? We live here now. I already redid the wallpaper my way. At that moment, something clicked inside me. The trap had sprung. That's exactly what I needed to hear, he said softly, a smile forming. So you like that gold wallpaper? Abigail lifted her chin proudly. Of course I do. It's much nicer than your boring taste. I see. Then you'd better enjoy it while you can. Confusion flickered in her eyes as he placed another sick file on the table. Because tomorrow morning at 9, it all began. She blinked. What are you talking about? He opened the file and slid it toward my father. That's the contract he signed 3 months ago for a full property reconstruction. And that's the official building permit. Construction starts tomorrow. My father's hands trembled as he flipped through the pages. The plan, he continued evenly, is to demolish the entire house and rebuild it from the foundation. By this time tomorrow, your gold wallpaper and pink walls will be rebel. Every cent you spent here, wasted. Abigail's face went white. My mother gasped, covering her mouth. That's a lie. Abigail shouted. It's not, he replied. Check the contract dates. I planned this long before you trespassed. Everything you've done is completely legal. The room fell silent, the faint sound of Abigail's children playing in the next room the only noise. My father finally spoke. Why, Sophie? Why destroy such a perfect house? A perfect house. He echoed softly. Dad, you're looking at this stroke sentiment. I see it as a project manager, as an asset. He met his gaze squarely. The interior was outdated. The layout inefficient. I began this project months ago to increase its market value. After the rebuild, its worth will rise by at least 40%. This isn't emotional, it's strategic. Then he turned to Abigail. What you tried to trample with your dirty shoes for a 3,000 pesos wallpaper hop wasn't an empty vacation house. It was a 6-figure investment project. My words could throw the room like glass. Isen, silent until now, turned pale. Abigail, he whispered, trembling, what have you done? She screamed back, don't blame me. You said we couldn't afford rent. Mom and Dad said it was fine. If you hadn't lived, none of this could have happened, he shouted. You were ruined us. Their shouting filled the room until my father barked, a knock. But it was already too late. A firm knock sounded at the door. When he opened it, 2 uniformed police officers stood outside. Good afternoon. Is this the residence of Miss Sophie Carter? Yes, he replied. We're here regarding the criminal complaint filed by Miss Carter. We need to speak with Miss Abigail Collins concerning allegations of unlawful entry and property damage. Please come with us. My mother screamed. My father staggered back. Abigail collapsed, shaking her head. No, this can't be happening. The officers remained composed. This property is now under legal investigation. Everyone except Miss Carter must back out immediately. Any items brought here will remain as evidence. Abigail longed for her boxes. No. My things. One officer stepped in front of her gently but firmly. He stood still, watching. Cold. Detached. Just as they had destroyed my sanctuary, their own lives were now crumbling, and they were the ones who pulled the trigger. Months later, Abigail stood in court, sobbing dramatically, claiming he had betrayed her. My parents sat behind her, nodding alone, pretending to believe her lies. The Mr. Walker played the security footage. There she was, Abigail, laughing as she gave orders to the contractors. Once we move in, it's ours, she braved. Her own voice filled the courtroom, erasing every lie. The verdict was swift, guilty. Abigail Collins received 3 years of probation and a permanent criminal record. In civil court, she was ordered to pay 85,000 pesos in damages. She collapsed when the amount was announced. Isen immediately filed for divorce, winning full custody of their children. Abigail filed for bankruptcy soon after. My parents, who had defended her to the end, were publicly disgraced, known in town as the criminals' parents. I deleted their numbers the day I heard the verdict. There was no longer space in my life for any of them. A year later, my Lake Arrowhead estate stood reborn, stronger, brighter, and utterly mine. The house, rebuilt from the frame up, gleamed in the sunlight. The lake's reflection danced through wide new windows. The garnished gold wallpaper and shocking pink walls were gone, erased as if they had never existed. A relative told me recently that Abigail now lives in our parents' basement, working 3 part-time jobs to repay the restitution. I didn't react. Now, I sit on my terrace, overlooking the calm waters of Lake Arrowhead. My sanctuary has been reclaimed. And this time, no one will ever violate it again.